Yeah, hi, this is Hugh. This is the Eachine E129 RC helicopter. Put in the modular battery here. Hopefully you can see that okay. There's the light. They're down there. This is the helicopter I was having a bunch of problems with the trim, and fortunately it has been straightened out. I'm going to show you the results of that here in a second. I'm buying the helicopter. I do the one button takeoff just for simplicity. And there she is. Now the other day I couldn't get this thing to hold trim for anything. It was really stressing me out. It was just all over the place. And you know, I would trim like 12 times to the right, 6 times to the reverse, and get it settled down, and then land, change batteries, and then take off and start all over again. It turns out the whole head unit on the top of the shaft there that supports the blades and all the, you know, the above the swash plate and all that, that whole unit had loosened up, and it had slid up and put a bunch of play in the swash plate and everything, and that's what was causing it to kind of be all over the place. And just by luck I happened to notice that was loose, and I kind of put my thumb on the bottom of the main gear and my finger on the top of the head there, and squeezed, and it just kind of popped back into position. And then at the top there's a little screw, tighten that, and heck, it's been fine ever since. So there you go. I wish I could have figured that out sooner, but you know, hey, that's okay. Could be worse. So now it's behaving really well. We're getting a little bit of air movement today. That's normal with it's winter time, the heat's on, so the heat's kicking on and off. It's a little too cold to shut the heat off, so I'll trim it a little bit. We'll see if we can get her to settle down a bit. Okay. This one right. Let's go. Okay. Well. Okay, when I see it go one way and then come back, and then that pretty much tells me that that's just air movement. So we're not going to worry about that. That's pretty good. So the trim issue has been resolved, and it's flying great. And during all that, I accidentally found out that I can take off without using the one button takeoff and landing, by manipulating the sticks that spools up the motor, and then you can just take off normal. And it seems to land better using the one button takeoff and landing though, so I'm trying to stick with that. As when I land manually, it doesn't always the motor doesn't shut down as quick as I'd like it to do. And in the house with all the furniture, that's not really cool. So here it is, and still got to be careful of the ceiling though. The ceilings aren't that high down here, and it's real easy for this thing to drift up, and because of the prop wash pretty much glue itself to the ceiling. And the drones will do that same thing. You know, they're both, this is one big propeller, but the drone's basically the same thing with 4 smaller propellers. So just kind of kicking back today and taking it easy. there's not a lot of room in the house, so I try to keep it just, you know, mostly just working on the touch and, you know, hovering and things like that, a little bit of yaw. There's only so much I can do being a beginner indoors without crashing into something, so. Well, that was a little too close, wasn't it? Let's see if we can get some yaw action going here. So hopefully you're seeing that all okay. But I just wanted to do a follow-up. I was really upset about that whole trim issue, and I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on with it. And it basically turned out to be something really simple, that something had just gotten loose, and I put a lot of play in the swash plate in that whole area, just everything moving, you know, allowed to move up and down. And so once that was resolved, it's like right back to normal again. I did crack the canopy before that, but you know, while I was going through the yaw thing, I smacked it a few more times, so the canopy's cracked up pretty good now. But I had already ordered a replacement, so I'm not too worried about that. I've got a little bit of tape holding it together on the bottom in the meantime, so no big deal. I'm just happy it's flying again, and we'll show that one button landing. Show how that works here. Here it goes. And that did that because I touched the controls on the way down. And if I had gotten lower, just hit the landing, it should have stopped right away. Let's try it again. I'll take off. A little less altitude here. Okay, here we go.